Nick Sainert.
I want to know what it's like to commit a crime without having to spend time in jail.
And Enrique Alvarez Clary.
C is for chunk.
Brought to you by Empire Fence and Netting on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome in. Happy Tuesday. It's the happy hour. 93.7 The Ticket, theticketfm.com. Nick Sainert and Enrique Alvarez Clary with you. What's up, Rico?
Hello.
How's it going?
It was going better, and then you ruined my day.
It's fine. As always, 402-464-5685, the Honda of Lincoln hotline, the Starter Heyman text line, both those open for you guys. Corey and Lincoln, congratulations. The Cubs lost last night.
Yes!
So your over is not going to hit.
Yes!
The Cubs lost their second game in their last 14 games to the Reds, 3-0.
Thank goodness for the Reds. I told you.
The Reds came through just for Rico. So nice job.
I hope they sweep them.
Now at this point, like the 74.5 that I had is still in play, but not the 75.5 that Corey and Lincoln had.
Shout
on some
out
of the
to
bigger sites.
Corey and Lincoln, shout out.
Good bet.
Corey,
nice
we
job,
did it.
Corey.
Corey, we did it.
Nice job, Corey. So he sends in a picture of the L flag instead of the W flag. So
Wave the L.
wave the L. All right. The Cubs, that's right. They got some momentum going into the offseason. They'll be just fine. They say they want to spend money. They said they want to spend money.
Aaron Judge might end up being a free agent.
Should the Cubs sign Aaron
Judge?
Aaron Judge?
They could try.
Chicago is appealing.
Is it more
the
appealing
north side
than New York?
Well, probably not, but our pitch to Aaron Judge could be, hey, if you join us, we will win a World Series again. And you could bring the second World Series to Chicago in the last 7 years.
Or, better idea, if they don't win the World Series this year, you can re-sign and
exactly
win the 28th.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm
I'm curious to see what his contract is going to look like.
Well, if they would have done it earlier, it wouldn't have been as big.
That's true. Have you seen all the videos on Twitter of the cut-ins between
It's hilarious. They're like the kick six, but Aaron Judge is at 60
and they like show him, or the field goal is kicked by Auburn, and Alabama, excuse me. Auburn catches it in the end zone. And then it cuts to Aaron Judge getting walked.
Yep.
And then they cut back to Auburn, Alabama, and it's Nick Saban just walking across the field when it says Auburn touchdown. I love those so much. There was one, I can't remember what it was, but there was one yesterday that really
do they
got
cut
me.
in like that, or do they make it split screen? Because I haven't watched any.
I would assume they cut in.
I haven't watched any of the ESPN broadcasts where. Well, I just haven't watched it.
You
should have been watching Big Ten or.
I was gonna say you should have been
FS1.
watching. You should have been watching the Northwestern Penn State game last Saturday. That riveting matchup because they would have cut in and we would have found out. So if anybody did watch it,
of Oklahoma because they were playing on FS1 and they're saying when they were playing TCU, they're like they really wish they were on ESPN so they could
cut into it. Yeah, we're not. Nothing's happening here. Nothing's happening here.
Nothing to see here.
Yeah, we are not getting. Blown out by the Horned Frogs on the road. 402-464-5685, the Honda of Lincoln hotline, the Starter Heyman text line, both those once again open for you, as well as the Starter Heyman Jewelers video stream, Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter. Okay, so it says, so Corey helps us out. It says, I've seen it where they do the split screen, but the audio switches over to the baseball call specifically. So Brian T asks, why would Judge want to leave the Yanks? Who wouldn't want to keep those outfield fences when they are only like 150 feet away? I don't know. Brian T, you ask a valid question.
Whatever.
Maybe he should just go play in Williamsport.
You're just mad.
About what?
You're just mad.
I'm not mad at all.
You're just mad.
I am not mad at all.
He hits most of his homers closer to center field anyways, so.
I'm not mad.
Which
the Cubs were not going to be good this year.
Which is very deep. Very, very deep part of the field.
This offseason is intriguing for a multitude of reasons. I'm curious to see kind of what the Cardinals do, although I'm not necessarily a Cardinals fan. Curious to see what they do.
Did you see the three of them walking off?
I did. That was sweet.
That was an emotional
That was awesome with Yachty and
I don't like the Cards,
and
I didn't think I'd be emotional, but that was an emotional moment.
Yeah, it's cool. It's really cool for baseball. But I'm curious to see, like, it's going to have a different look with somebody other than Yachty behind the dish. So Cardinals going to be interesting during the offseason. Especially with how active they were at the trade deadline. They got Montgomery. They dealt Bader to the Yankees.
Thank you.
For some reason. And
He was
then
injured.
he was, but still, like in the long term, maybe they needed starting pitching. Obviously, they must have felt like they did. But no, the Cubs are interesting. The Yankees are always interesting. We'll see who the Dodgers pick up because the Dodgers are never like just sleeping.
That's true. See if the Red Sox do anything.
Red Sox are weird because they have a guy like J.D. Martinez. I want to say Xander is in a contract year, Xander Bogaerts.
I like Xander Bogaerts.
I could look up here guys that are in expiring deal.
You know why he wears the number 2?
Why?
Derek Jeter.
That is right. I did know that. Guys, MLB guys
Expiring contracts.
with expiring contracts.
OG Les Lancaster says, I bet Judge goes short term, 4 years, $250 million. He also says, I will cry when the Cardinals sign Wilson Contreras.
The Cardinals will not sign.
I also don't think Judge goes short term. He wants a long term deal. That was the hang up.
Yeah, you kind of need to.
That was the hang up with the Steinbrenner family because they didn't want to give him a long term. I think he wanted somewhere in the neighborhood of like 8 years or something like that.
Yeah. Somebody asked, why is Major League Baseball cutting away from coverage to see Judge hit the 7th most home runs, but when Pujols was coming up on 700 career, no cutaway? That makes a very good point.
That is a great
now,
question.
like, as bad as it is to say, the Cardinals aren't the Yankees. Like, there's just something about the Yankees and Judge doing it in a Yankees uniform and pinstripes. That's why.
He did it in L.A.
Yeah.
I don't understand. I actually never even thought about that. That's a great question.
That's a great question. But we will get to football talk here in a moment. But, okay, so some of the next free agents for baseball, obviously Wilson Contreras, Gary Sanchez, Jose Abreu, Josh Bell, Hosmer will opt out of Washington, I'm sure. Anthony Rizzo has a player option.
He'll stay.
Probably. Rougned Odor, Gene Segura, Colton Wong, Brandon Drury, Justin Turner.
Big fan of Colton Wong.
That's where the Cubs messed up 2 years ago. Was they decided to pass. He wanted to sign a club-friendly, it was a very club-friendly deal. 2 years, $16 million as a free agent with the Cubs, and they decided not to. They said that was too much money to spend on Colton Wong. And I thought $8 million a year for Colton Wong is too much. Get out of here. Benintendi, Michael Brantley. Oh, there's a good outfield. Benintendi, Brantley, Dickerson, Adam Duvall, Joey Gallo, Kevin Kiermaier, Will Myers, Brandon Nimmo, Jack Peterson, Tommy Pham, Jorge Soler, obviously Aaron Judge, Nelson Cruz, JD Martinez, Andrew McCutcheon. Holy smokes.
This is a good free agent
This is a good little free agent class here. A lot of good starting pitchers available. Jacob deGrom, Nathan Eovaldi, Sonny Gray, Zach Greinke.
DeGrom's going to be a free agent? Oh,
Clayton Kershaw, Corey Kluber, Sean Manaea.
Kershaw stays in L.A. Team friendly.
Probably.
Jose
Quintana, Carlos Rodon.
How much do you think DeGrom demands?
I don't know.
It's going to be so much money.
Jameson Taillon. That's going to be interesting. The Taillon one's going to be interesting because that's a guy that, as Chris Collinsworth says, this is a guy that he was a very highly touted rookie, or I should say like new guy in the league. And I think if I want to remember correctly, he was on the Pirates for a while. So that kind of hurt his career a little bit. So I'm curious to see what I believe this should be his second contract. So we'll see what his second contract. Verlander's also up. Michael Wacha, Taiwan Walker.
Michael Wacha was a beast.
Last but certainly not least, some of the relievers, Aroldis Chapman, Zach Britton. Britton's been injured, so I wonder how much his value goes down.
From Britton.
Edwin Diaz.
The Mets almost missed the playoffs.
Yeah, that's a wild story as well. Michael Fulmer, the former Tiger, Kenley Jansen, who's now in Atlanta, Tommy Conley, Ian Kennedy, Craig Kimbrell, Corey Knievel, Jose Leclerc, Seth Lugo, Trevor May, Adam Ottavino, Taylor Rogers.
Trevor May has his streaming platform he can fall back on.
That is true, because I started watching Trevor May during COVID. I watched Trevor May and Blake Snell.
Blake Snell always plays MLB The Show. He dabbled in Call of Duty. Trevor May, a lot of MLB The Show. More Call of Duty and Fortnite. He used to play with Tim the Tatman and Ninja, Dr. Lupo and them.
Gotcha. All right, so it's time to get to...
Is it funny that that's where I first knew him?
Yeah, that's weird.
Streaming, and then I realized he was a professional baseball pitcher, and I was like, oh, cool.
That's weird. Okay, so Rico, I think what we're going to do, we might leave the sweet things from by Marcy for you and Nate in the final segment, if that's okay.
Oh, yeah, because you have to leave.
I got to leave. So if that's all right with you, We might do sweet things.
I'm
yeah, you're going to be able to eat it regardless. Okay, so let's go ahead and get into some of this football stuff because I want to make sure we have enough time for you and I to talk about Mark Whipple. And then also, I don't know if you guys ever watched the Joel Klatt show. He has this like podcast thing. They're very short clips on YouTube where it's just Joel Klatt diving into football.
I love
which
Joel
is
Klatt.
which is awesome. Joel Klatt's one of my favorite announcers, if not the favorite. Favorite announcer. Tater says Nick brushed video game talk away real quick.
He really did. It's fine.
Because we can go down a rabbit hole because I started playing NCAA 14 again, Rico.
Yeah, you did.
And I need to be careful.
Where you at?
I'm the offensive coordinator at Texas.
You hear that, everyone?
I'm the offensive coordinator at Texas.
I'm the OC at UTSA.
There you go. So I'm
started
hoping,
small. It's my first year.
I'm hoping to get a head coaching job this next cycle.
I'm saying it's my first year. We have the best offense in the country. Our running back is up for the Heisman. He's currently leading the nation in rushing yards.
That's great. Anyway,
he had like 250 yards in his last game, like 5 touchdowns. I keep setting records every time because
every single time.
Not a long established school, so not a lot of big records. So
yeah,
the record for rushing touchdowns in the game was 2. I broke it in the first game. I had 3.
Perfect. Okay,
really good.
So that's enough video game. We got to move on, Rico.
I'm going to be an OC at a bigger school
than UTSA.
Yeah,
you could probably get that head coaching job at like a Ball
I don't want a head coaching job yet. I want an OC at a.
You want to work your way up.
Work my way up. I need 2, 3, 4 years of OC experience before I get the head.
Here's the thing.
Job.
I forgot how fun the recruiting was on that game.
I hate it.
You hate the recruiting?
I hate it.
I love the recruiting
part.
Despise. And I can't wait for the new one where there's the transfer portal.
I don't know.
I'm gonna go Lincoln Riley on everybody.
Dude, I'm going straight transfer portal. I'm building a team straight transfers. I'm not recruiting a single freshman.
Not a single freshman.
Not a single freshman. Everybody's gonna have some type of experience.
It would be awesome though. There's no way they're gonna be able to do this if the recruiting aspect stuff of it had real names, real high schoolers.
I'm sure you could.
You could edit them and stuff. Probably download.
There's going
something.
To be somebody that goes through it and does it.
Hey. I'm all for it.
That is a lot of.
That's
work.
a lot of work.
Shout out to On3.
On3 with the NIL, NIL thing.
You know what? When this game comes out, I'm gonna talk to Sipple, and I'm gonna have Sipple talk to his people. I'm gonna see if I can get me a job.
You need a job?
Putting high schoolers in for recruiting.
Sponsored by On3.
Yeah, sponsored by On3.
There you go. We have people.
I know people.
All right. So Nebraska, Mark Whipple talked today. There was a funny quote that kind of came out of it. But let's first do this one. And it's Nebraska's need to score touchdowns. Because obviously Nebraska's defense isn't, although they had a good performance on Saturday, don't know if you're really ready to rely on these guys to win you a football game or even keep you in a football game. So Nebraska's offense needs to score points. They need to score a lot of points. Here's something that Mark Whipple had to say today.
For this offense, it's frustrated me, and because there's been, I think, 4 games we've taken the ball and scored the first drive, and then they just act like, well, yeah, okay, I'm like, we don't, nothing against their defense. We don't have this 86 Bears defense. Okay, your job's to score touchdowns, and they just like. You go 3 plays or whatever, we go 70 yards, and then you just start making mistakes. So, and my frustration a little bit was taken out on Casey, but he knows that I love him, and that part. And I think you can't do that with everybody, but he handled it really well, and he responded. He responded, and the team responded in the second half. But that's my expectations just seem at times to be higher than our guys that are playing, and that's frustrating.
So that last part made it interesting to me, kind of stuck out a little bit. My expectation might be higher than some of the guys playing, so that's frustrating. I don't think that's the case with like guys like Casey Thompson, Anthony Grant, Trey Palmer.
Well, I feel like as a coach, your expectations are going to be to score every single time.
That's a good point.
And as a player, sometimes it's maybe we don't score on this, but we had a really good drive, and maybe we set up something for later. Maybe I've got this backwards, and it's the players that should be thinking you're going to score every time, and as a coach, you're thinking we're setting things up for later.
Or it should be in sync, like you guys should be on the same.
I mean, that would be better if you are in sync. But
is the best case
but
scenario.
at the same time, I mean, sometimes you're not going to be on the same page, and maybe one person wants to, maybe one person is expecting, every time we touch the ball, we need to score. Whereas on the other side, it's okay, maybe we didn't score here, but we did a really good job with this. We can build on this and whatever, what have you. So I understand it. It's not terribly surprising to hear that he has extremely high expectations for his offense, especially coming from what he did last year.
Once again, like, we're going to speak to the parallels because we can hear them on a daily basis. I mean, how much does Whipple sound and his message that he's preaching to the guys every day sound like the same message that Mickey Joseph wants to be preaching to the guys every single day about expectations, about coming to work every day and getting ready to play a game, whether it's Friday or Saturday, which I will mention, like Nebraska's opportunity. We're sitting here once again in week 5, right? No, excuse me, week 6 week 5 of the college football season, game 6 of Nebraska's season. And you're sitting here with another opportunity to where you're playing on a uncharacteristic day, right? It can be kind of the same conversation as a week 0 game. It can be the same conversation as a across the pond game where a lot of eyes are going to be on you.
Mm-hmm.
Like you're on Fox Sports 1, I believe, this Friday.
This one, yes.
And you have an opportunity on a Friday night when no other Big Ten game is going on.
You are the first game of the night. There's a game following you at 6:30 and then 2 games at 9:30. But you are the first game Friday night.
No game is on, or excuse me, no Big Ten. Is there a Big Ten game? Another Big Ten game?
No, I don't think there's another power conference game that night. They're all group of 5s, although Houston and Memphis, Houston's going to be in the Big 12 next year. So
like, here's the thing. It's the main point still stands. There's going to be a lot of eyes on you. You're going to have a great opportunity here to really showcase what kind of team you are, because think about all the games that you've played in front of a national audience in terms of when nobody else is playing. And it's been 2021, week 0 against Illinois, you lost. 2022, week 0 against Northwestern in Ireland, a double whammy there, and you lost. Like, you've
Big Noon against Oklahoma both years.
Big Noon against Oklahoma. Like, your best job of showing up was maybe Big Noon when Ohio State came to town last year.
The night game against Michigan.
But that was on ABC.
Yeah, I don't even know if that was
that was on ABC.
Yeah.
Because it also depends on what games are going on elsewhere around the country.
Mm-hmm.
But that's where these Friday night games, Nebraska's not playing Ohio State on Friday. They're playing Rutgers. And
you'll ever play Ohio State on a Friday.
Let's hope not. But, well, no, don't forget, Ohio State and Minnesota played on a Thursday last year. So there's a chance. But no, like, this is an opportunity as somebody that's tied for first place in the West, right? That is true, and that's factual, that there's an opportunity here to showcase that you guys are moving in the right direction as a program. And not just in front of Nebraska fans and to build on consistency, but also to the whole nation that, hey, Mickey Joseph, he's got a legit opportunity to be the permanent head coach.
Mm-hmm.
Because you're able to go into Piscataway, New Jersey on a Friday night in October and win a game.
Yep.
It's a big opportunity in front of you.
The national audience needs something to feel good about Nebraska, because right now the most recent memory for national audience people who have watched Nebraska
Oklahoma
was the Oklahoma game, and that's not the greatest thing. And then I guess the next national moment that you had was Northwestern.
Well, and you could even argue that the Oklahoma game might even look worse now with how they played against K-State and TCU.
Well, K-State always matches up really well.
K-State always matches up well.
The TCU one, that one's bad.
Interesting.
That one's bad.
So I mean, and they're doing the Red River rivalry this week.
Every Big 12 game features a ranked opponent except that one.
And we talked about it a little bit yesterday. Whoever loses that Oklahoma-Texas game is going to be 500. And that's unprecedented times. That's wild. So at least with Oklahoma specifically, right? We're used to Oklahoma being a top 25 team, and now they're not. Texas gets Quinn Ewers back, but will it be the Quinn Ewers and Texas team that we saw kind of show up against for that first half of Alabama, Texas, or the 4 quarters even, but the first half specifically when Quinn Ewers was in the game? Or is it going to be the Texas of old where they lost to Kansas? But now Kansas is ranked, and that's where College Game Day is at, because it's TCU and Kansas this Saturday.
Top 25 matchup.
It's a really good Saturday of college football. And as just a general football fan, be happy that Nebraska's playing on a Friday night, because you get to sit and watch football all day Saturday.
Ooh, it's going to be
there's a lot of good games.
The Jimbo Saban Bowl.
Jimbo Saving Bowl.
which should be more of a big deal,
What?
but Texas A&M is bad.
Well, do we know if Jimbo is a good coach?
Yes. He won a national championship at Florida State.
With Jameis Winston and Kelvin Benjamin.
Well, yeah.
And was
Well, that was
Dalvin
his-
there?
I believe so. That was his team. He built it.
It was.
He coached them.
They also beat a decent. It was the Auburn team that they played was all right.
It wasn't the greatest.
It wasn't the greatest.
Look, he won a national championship winning coach. There's not many.
I mean, like I think Auburn's running back in that game was Trey Mason.
Trey Mason was a beast.
I like Trey Mason a lot. Who was the quarterback of that year?
I could not tell you.
Would it have been like Nick Marshall?
Maybe.
That's the only one I could think about in that time frame for Auburn. So anyway, let's go ahead and get to break. When we come back, so Joel Klatt kind of mentioned something about we'll continue this offensive conversation regarding Nebraska, but then also Joel Klatt on his show talked about Wisconsin firing Paul Chryst, and he brought up an angle to the conversation regarding the layout of the Big Ten Conference to where now programs, especially in the Big Ten, are going to have to keep in their back of their mind when they're deciding whether or not to fire a coach. And he also talks about the Colorado opening, brings Nebraska in, ties it in with a little bit. We're going to hear both those quotes coming up in the next segment, but first we'll put a bow on this offensive conversation regarding Nebraska. Mark Whipple also had a great soundbite today about what his demeanor is like and how he wants to operate on a day-to-day basis in terms of being a nice guy or being the opposite. So we'll talk about that and give a couple statistics on just Nebraska's offensive play so far through their first couple games. We'll do all that and more coming up on a Tuesday on the Happy Hour.
Follow Nick and Enrique on Twitter at Nick_Sainert and at Radio Rico AC. More of Happy Hour is next on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
A good game with good friends. But isn't it time to up the score when it comes to the food? Wings and Rings is here for every football fan. Catch the game on one of their big screens or snag a tailgate pack to go. They're cranking up the heat and throwing in mad flavor this season. Stop by your locally owned Wings and Rings on O Street, Meridian Park, or 48th and Old Cheney in Williamsburg Village, or grab some crave-worthy Wings and Rings to go. Make them your go-to destination to watch your team bring home the win. Wings and Rings. Game time just got better.
Problem gambling can destroy an individual's finances, relationships, physical, and mental health. If you are a loved one or struggling with addiction, contact Choices Treatment Center's 24-hour helpline at 402-476-2300. That's 402-476-2300.
Landmark Implement, your local John Deere dealership, is searching for mechanics of all skill levels to grow with us. Landmark offers a competitive wage, full benefits package, along with paid time off within just 60 days of employment, as well as a 401k and a boot and clothing allowance. Interested in becoming a part of the Landmark difference? Apply now at landmarkimp.com/careers or contact Deanna 402-310-7561 or email careers@landmarkimp.com. That's landmarkimp.com. Landmark Implement is an equal opportunity employer.
They might win, they might lose, but either way, you have something to say about it. Don't miss the Husker After Party postgame show immediately following every Nebraska football game. Nick Sainert and Jake Bachhoven give instant reaction, quotes from the players and coaches, and take all your phone calls with thoughts on the game. It's the Husker After Party postgame show, only on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Sponsored by Action Plumbing and Heating, Gary Michaels Quilliers, and Brant Excavating. October often presents all 4 seasons within 1 month. Are you and your feet prepared for the highs and lows? Stop in now to Brown Shoe Fit for a fall sale. Get $10 to $15 off any regular price shoe over $70. Save on dress shoes, athletic shoes, boots, and even hiking shoes. Brown's has great brands like Brooks, New Balance, Clarks, Hoka, Merrell, and more. Some exclusions may apply, so see store for details. Stop by Brown Shoe Fit today for their fall sale, just south of 66th and Q in Lincoln.
It's time again for Lincoln's Best Oktoberfest, the 7th annual Piedmont Oktoberfest, October 8th from 5 to 11 p.m. Enjoy dozens of beers, amazing local food, live music, costume contests, stein holding contests, yodeling, and more, with tickets starting at only $33. Live music by the B Street Band, provided by Aloe Fiber, and safe rides home, provided by Z-Trip and the Nebraska Department of Transportation Highway Safety Office. Get your tickets today at the shops@piedmont.com. Use promo code THETICKET to receive 10% off your complete order. It's the Piedmont Oktoberfest, the shops@piedmont.com.
Are you sick of mindlessly running on a treadmill or the lack of motivation to consistently work out? Whatever your challenge, Farrell's Extreme Body Shaping can help. Whether you want to lose weight, boost energy, or simply improve your overall health, you'll fit right in at Farrell's regardless of age or abilities. Build endurance with their kickboxing and strength training group fitness classes while also getting nutrition coaching. Try Farrell's now for a free week. Visit fxblincoln.com or call Jeff at 402-310-4026. Farrell's Extreme Body Shaping.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Sponsored by Security First Bank, a relationship you can count on.
Expect increasing cloud cover as we top out near 81 this afternoon. Winds start the day out of the south and turn northerly by the end of the afternoon at around 10. We will see a chance of showers and thunderstorms late this afternoon into tonight, with the low dropping down to 52. Becoming mostly sunny tomorrow with a high of 76. I'm meteorologist Tim Wright for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
College football in Lincoln, America. The time has come. Start your game day off right with the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate pregame show. Join the Ticket crew live from Tipsy Tina's in the Haymarket as they bring you all the coverage you need to get you ready for the action. It's the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate pregame show on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Brought to you by A1 Automotive, Mullen Motors, Wall to Wall Wine and Spirits, Bauer Underground, Ben Bleicher with Professional Realty Group, and Ritchie Brothers.
Action Plumbing, Heating, Air, and Electric is the call I make when I have a need for plumbing services. Whether it's for my home or office, if I need a repair to a water heater, softener, or even my garbage disposal, I know I can count on Action to help. In one simple call, their amazing customer service team promptly schedules a service call, often getting to my needs within a day. Action delivers honest, quality services we can count on. To learn more, visit actionlincoln.com.
I grew up hearing that women are bad with money, but like many of you, I spent years paying bills, managing checking accounts, and taking care of my family. So turns out women are pretty good with money after all. And now I'm taking control of my financial future by saving for retirement. It's never too late to start, and there's a great website to help you. Check out WeSaySaveIt.org and jumpstart your retirement savings on your budget and your timeline. That's WeSaySaveIt.org. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
You're listening to The Happy Hour with Nick Sainert and Enrique Alvarez Clary. Sponsored by Empire Fence and Netting on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome back into the Happy Hour, 93.7 The Ticket, theticketfm.com. Nick and Rico hanging out with you guys. Okay, so continuing our conversation on Husker football here, Mark Whipple said something along the lines of nothing against the defense, but we don't have this 1986 Bears defense. Your job is to score touchdowns. Nebraska currently has the 47th ranked total offense in the country. They're averaging 5.9 yards per play, 437 yards per game. And diving a little bit deeper, they're averaging about 74 plays per game. 43 of those are rushes, 31 are passes on average.
Dude, that's a really good offense.
Yeah, it's not bad.
It's a really solid offense.
It just goes to show, but like, here's the thing, and they're now here's the other part. They're 67th in scoring offense.
Yeah.
Averaging 31 points per game.
But even then, 31 points is good.
That'll be fine in the Big Ten West most of the time.
Yeah.
You feel really good if you can get that above 35.
I mean, if you have a competent defense,
well, that's
31 is good.
And that's the kicker, is where if Bill Busch is able to get this thing simplified enough to where it's still successful and you have more of that bend, don't break kind of defense, then you're going to be okay. I mean, Nebraska's going to be okay.
If you pair this offense with last year's defense, I don't want to speak out of turn. You probably got 8 wins at least.
Yeah. So I just think there's something along the lines of it. Mark Whipple said something as well today about how his demeanor is and how he's, listen, it's now go time. You got half the season left. Mark Whipple was on one today, and
he was feeling himself.
He was on one, and he was very. He made it very clear, like, he believes that this is a team that can compete for the West Division. And when you look around the entire division, I argue the same thing. I'm in sync because I feel the same way. Not necessarily win, but there are 6 teams right now that can win it.
You can win it. Like, there's no ifs, ands, or buts. You can win it.
Because now here's what's interesting, Rico.
I mean, who's the best team in the Big Ten West? Illinois?
Well, so that's the thing, is in previous years it's always been Wisconsin and Iowa. Nebraska's got to beat one of those two teams, and they're right up there for it. And because the conversation that we've always had is get to that Iowa game where you guys are tied, and the winner of that Iowa game goes to the Big Ten title game. That's the conversation that a lot of us have had in recent years. That's not the conversation this year.
No.
Instead, there's a lot of eyes on that October 15th game at Purdue, and there's a lot of eyes on the October 29th game, Illinois at home.
As I say, the game before the bye week and the game after the bye week probably will determine where you sit in the Big Ten West.
Yeah. Somebody says on the text line, you run the ball 35 times a game, just need to hold the opponent to 30 points or less to win pretty much every time. And guess what? As we've said all season long, now you have a guy. You have a dude like Anthony Grant, and you have a staff like Mark Whipple and Brian Applewhite that are willing to run basically have the guy run the rock or carry the rock for 25, 30 times a game.
32 times.
Yeah. And you got a dude that's willing to do it and is able to do it at a pretty decent clip. And I think I checked today, Anthony Grant is the 8th best rusher in college football right now.
I think he's averaging
120 yards per game,
which is 5th best in the Big Ten.
Yep.
8th best rusher in the country, 5th in the Big Ten.
There you go.
Great running backs in the Big Ten.
Talk about, I don't want to say fitting into the Big Ten because Nebraska obviously wants to blaze their own path or whatever.
They're fitting into
but they're fitting into the Big Ten. That's where it's at. Now they need to get the offensive line a little bit better. Imagine if the offensive line was a top 10 team or top 10 offensive line unit in the Big Ten, or a top 7. They were top half of the conference.
There's something here. And I was talking with Bach about it. They had instances on Saturday where they were really impressive, not only in pass protection, but in run blocking. They were opening up some really big holes for Anthony Grant.
So here's what Mark Whipple had to say, though, kind of about how he's operating now on a daily basis, and the demeanor he's carrying and translating to his players as well.
I don't know. I guess in my history, when I walk around being a nice guy, it just doesn't work as well as when I'm a okay? I don't know why, and that's just what I told the kids on Monday. I said, look, man, I'm down here. Just when I have something across my rear end, guys, we just play better, and that's really what it was like at halftime.
We said it yesterday, and we'll say it multiple times throughout the season, especially if Nebraska wins games. When you build relationships first with the guys, it makes it a lot easier, for you to give and dish out criticism, as well as on the other side of that coin for the players to receive the criticism. We hear Casey Thompson and other players on this football team say that they enjoy being coached hard. They enjoy basically being told exactly the truth,
being held accountable.
Yeah, accountability. Like all those things fit into how this staff is operating right now, and especially Mickey Joseph, Mark Whipple, Bill Busch, the 3 main guys on this staff. And it feels like there are parallels between those 3 guys and their messages. Here we go. And I just Travis and Lincoln makes an interesting point. Who's the best run defense we've seen all year? Oklahoma. That didn't translate well. Although I love the positivity. Let's wait to start saying run the ball 30 to 35 times a game. But I will say this,
Oklahoma
Travis,
the best run defense that they've played?
Probably.
I mean, Indiana had a pretty solid run defense.
No, they did not. Indiana ranked 109th in total defense.
Total defense. We're talking run defense.
So I will say this. Go ahead. I think that there's a way that Nebraska, if they want to be able to run the ball 30 to 35 times a game, what's something we've said a lot is that even if you're down 10 points in the second quarter, you better still run the football. Or even if you're down 7 or 10 points in the third quarter, still run the ball. Why? Because it opens up your entire offense. We saw that on Saturday with the whole Casey Thompson finally throwing a 71-yard bomb to Trey Palmer. It had multiple run plays that were before that play, because it forces the guys on the defense, especially the defensive backs, to come up closer to the line of scrimmage, not necessarily play the run, but not give as much cushion to the wide receivers. And then you have a guy like athletes like Trey Palmer, and I don't know where he's at, but Isaiah Garcia Castaneda.
He was injured.
There you go.
Yes, he didn't play last game.
So Trey Palmer, and when healthy, IGC, that can beat dudes on a go route. That can beat guys on a post. Like there's ways that it works. So I understand what you're saying, Travis. But one of the big things that we always talked about coming into the season that we wanted to see was, even in crunch time, when you were struck with adversity, don't abandon the run.
Mm-hmm.
Don't just automatically resort to throwing the ball 40 times a game. Now, are there situations that Nebraska might have to? I don't know, because you're going to be in the Big Ten West. Maybe Purdue's the team that will pass the most that's remaining on Nebraska's schedule.
Mm-hmm.
Michigan runs it a lot with Blake Corum and now J.J. McCarthy, who's a true dual threat quarterback, not like Cade McNamara. Purdue has the second team All Big Ten quarterback from last season, Aiden O'Connell,
and more than likely a first-team wide receiver.
Yeah, who was battling a little bit of an injury, but seems to be okay now. Like, I'm not worried about being in a shootout, and I know you're not saying this, Travis, but I'm not worried about being in a shootout against Wisconsin, Iowa, and Illinois. Like, if Tommy DeVito throws for 350 yards and 3 touchdowns and Nebraska loses by 7, then so be it, man, because that is not what we expected.
Honestly,
but they're not going to.
Nebraska's scoring 31 points against the remaining schedule. If the defense is what we saw against Indiana, maybe just a little bit worse, because I mean, that was a fantastic performance. If Nebraska scores 31 points against the remaining schedule outside of Michigan,
I feel good about it.
I feel good about those games.
And
also, I found the rush defense.
Okay.
Oklahoma ranks 119th. Nebraska's 120th.
Oof.
This
was after TCU and K-State, though. You have to remember that they allowed a lot to Kansas State and Andrew.
Not a very good rush defense. Indiana is actually, I just saw them. They are 69th.
Okay. So Indiana would have been the best rush defense. And you
So
had
far,
132 yards.
Northwestern was 80th.
Okay.
But Illinois is 3rd.
Yeah.
Minnesota is 7th. Iowa is 13th. Michigan is 14th. Rutgers is 18th. So you've got a lot of Purdue 22nd, a lot of heavy rush defenses to play on your remaining schedule. Wisconsin 49th. Oh, yeah. You've got a whole bunch of top 50 rush defenses.
It's a very hard slate. Like, don't forget, I want to make it very clear before we get to break here. Our conversations before the season were, listen, Nebraska's easiest part of the schedule is in the front half, so they got to start out quick. Now, they haven't necessarily started out quick, and the conversation doesn't change. This back half is grueling. Now, before the season, we were expecting maybe Wisconsin to look a little bit better. We were expecting Purdue to be a 9-win team again. Iowa was going to be able to at least run the football. They're barely being able to run on offense. Their defense is kind of the only thing keeping them in games. And you saw kind of what Michigan did against them with Blake Corum and J.J. McCarthy and such.
Minnesota was supposed to be a question mark.
Minnesota was a question mark,
kind of,
and I think they are after that Purdue team won. Illinois seems to be one of the top tier teams.
Illinois is going to be a non-factor coming into the season.
So it's just interesting, but that conversation of the grueling back half of the schedule has not changed. The only thing that has changed is maybe the team's number one or yourself, because we did not expect Nebraska to be 2-3.
No.
That's just brutal honesty. So Travis and Lincoln says, fellas, want to clarify my point. All I'm saying is when it isn't working, you better go away from it.
I get that.
I get that as well. And I think I have enough confidence in this offense to say Nebraska is able to throw the ball successfully for enough of the football game to stay in a game.
Yeah.
And to eventually win it. So we'll see what happens on Friday. Okay, let's go ahead and get to break. I got to bounce. Nate will come in. You guys will do Sweet Things by Marcy. Also, we're going to give away some tickets to Oktoberfest, the shops at Piedmont. Oktoberfest. It's Saturday, October 8th. Guess what? No Husker football game this Saturday because they play Friday. So this perfect opportunity for you to win tickets to Oktoberfest at the shops at Piedmont. It is from 5 to 11 p.m. I'm going to head down there. I'm going down there Saturday night.
Okay.
So I will be there. Hope to see you guys as well. But Rico and Nate will give away tickets, so make sure you stick around for that opportunity. But 402-464-5685, the guys will wrap up the happy hour coming up next.
Download our app by searching 93.7 The Ticket in your app store to stay in touch and listen all day long wherever you are. More of the happy hour is next on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Hey, buying a used vehicle sucks, and the biggest problem is who can you trust? Hey, this is Carl from Price Right Auto out here at West O Street in Lincoln. Here's what customers have told us they want from us. They want transparent pricing with no games. We have all of our pricing on our website, plus a Carfax report. We don't want to buy a lemon. We include a 3-month warranty on all of our vehicles. We don't want to play games. Just make it simple. You saw that with non-commissioned salespeople. Can you trust us? Just check out our Google reviews. Again, this is Carl from Price Right Auto in West O. Check us out at pricerightauto.com.
At first, I was really nervous and intimidated to buy a ring. I wasn't sure what I was getting into.
My experience at Starter Heyman was very easy. I felt like I walked out of Starter Heyman with the ring that was going to make her go wow and say yes.
I love my ring. It is so beautiful.
I absolutely love my ring. I get compliments on it all the time. I always tell them Starter Heyman.
Yeah, we would definitely recommend Starter Heyman.
Yeah, it was great.
We're definitely coming back.
Sure.
Sauter Heyman Jewelers, Lincoln and Grand Island. SauterHeyman.com.
Your home should not be a zoo to unwelcomed animals. Let the experts at Bats to Rats take care of those problems. Dane has been a leader in wildlife and pest management and prevention in Lincoln and the surrounding area for 15 years. He can help you get rid of bats, rodents, and anything else. Whether it's residential or commercial buildings, schools, apartments, or churches, they're always a phone call away. Call today at 402-310-0904 or visit batsterats.com. Bats to Rats Wildlife Control and Prevention.
Hey, this is Ernest Hausman. As a linebacker from Nebraska, I know how important it is to have a strong defense and a great playbook. If you are looking for a solid team to have your back, check out my friends at Burke Brown Law. Burke and Jackson will work with you to create an individualized strategy to bolster your defense.
Hi, this is Burke. Give us a call at 402-606-1441. With locations in Lincoln and Columbus, we're ready to tackle your needs. Find us online at burkebrownlaw.com.
They might win, they might lose, but either way, you have something to say about it. Don't miss the Husker After Party postgame show immediately following every Nebraska football game. Nick Sainert and Jake Bachhoven give instant reaction, quotes from the players and coaches, and take all your phone calls with thoughts on the game. It's the Husker After Party postgame show, only on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Sponsored by Action Plumbing and Heating, Gary Michaels Pool Years, and Brant Excavating. October often presents all 4 seasons within 1 month. Are you and your feet prepared for the highs and lows? Stop in now to Brown Shoe Fit for a fall sale. Get $10 to $15 off any regular price shoe over $70. Save on dress shoes, athletic shoes, boots, and even hiking shoes. Brown's has great brands like Brooks, New Balance, Clarks, Hoka, Merrell, and more. Some exclusions may apply, so see store for details. Stop by Brown Shoe Fit today for their fall sale, just south of 66th and Q in Lincoln.
Landmark Implement, your local John Deere dealership, is searching for mechanics of all skill levels to grow with us. Landmark offers a competitive wage, full benefits package, along with paid time off within just 60 days of employment, as well as a 401k and a boot and clothing allowance. Interested in becoming a part of the Landmark difference? Apply now at landmarkimp.com/careers or contact Deanna 402-310-7561 or email careers@landmarkimp.com. That's landmarkimp.com. Landmark Implement is an equal opportunity employer.
Shopping for new flooring is different today. Getting your questions answered, making the right selection, getting the best value, and installed quickly and professionally. Visit ostreetcarpet.com or shop our store. We'll answer all your questions and help you make the right choice. You'll be enjoying your new floor in just days for less than you'd pay elsewhere. Carpet, vinyl, wood, laminate, tile, and area rugs. We've got it all.
O Street Carpet.
1732 O Street. Family owned and operated. Always the best value.
Bagels and Joe is ready for the fall with pumpkin chocolate chip muffins, pumpkin cream cheese, and a pumpkin pie smoothie. Don't forget their delicious breakfast burritos and sandwiches, and grab a business box of bagels for the work crew. Bagels and Joe with 4 Lincoln locations and a new location in Seward opening soon. Are you sick of mindlessly running on a treadmill or the lack of motivation to consistently work out? Whatever your challenge, Farrell's Extreme Body Shaping can help. Whether you want to lose weight, boost energy, or simply improve your overall health, you'll fit right in at Farrell's regardless of age or abilities. Build endurance with their kickboxing and strength training group fitness classes while also getting nutrition coaching. Try Farrell's now for a free week. Visit fxblincoln.com or call Jeff at 402-310-4026. Farrell's Extreme Body Shaping.
When you're high, you feel different. You think different, you talk different, you draw different, you listen to music different, but you probably knew that. Problem is, you also drive different. and not in a good way. That's why driving high is illegal everywhere. So if you're high, just don't drive. Make a plan to get a sober ride. Because if you feel different, you drive different. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
You're listening to The Happy Hour with Nick Sainert and Enrique Alvarez Clary. Brought to you by Empire Fence and Netting on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome back to the Happy Hour here on 93.7 The Ticket, theticketfm.com. I am joined by one Nathan Brennan, everybody's 22nd favorite Virginia Tech grad.
Are you going to name me the 21 before me?
Nope, because I don't know 21.
You could probably name, I bet you could name like 4.
Terod Taylor.
Yeah.
Frank Beamer.
Yeah. You're missing a big one that you should absolutely know.
Michael Vick. He didn't graduate, though.
Well, no, not Michael Vick. A big one.
Who?
Bruce Smith.
Oh, Bruce Smith. Dang it.
Whatever. Everyone else, that's probably
everyone. 21 other people, and then Nathan Brennan.
And then me.
And then Nathan Brennan.
Hello.
But as Nick said before the break, before we get to Sweet Things by Marcy, we have some delicious cakes to eat. Before we get to that, the Shops at Piedmont Oktoberfest, Saturday, October 8th from 5 to 11 p.m. Guess what? We have 2 tickets to give to you. Basic entry, 2 tickets. You get 3 tickets for domestic and craft beers. You can get some extra tickets available. You can buy some out there. Again, the Shops at Piedmont Oktoberfest, October 8th from 5 to 11. We're going to give away 2 tickets. If you are caller number 5. Caller number 5.
2 tickets to paradise.
Pretty much. You get some beer.
Have you been?
Some Oktoberfest beer? No, I haven't.
It's awesome.
I
went last year.
I should
really
go.
Good time.
Saturday, October 8th. Again, there's no Husker football, so you can go enjoy yourself a nice morning of college football.
You're a little weird.
5 o'clock, head over to the Shops at Piedmont. Use your tickets. Get you some beers. Some Oktoberfest beers. It'll be delicious. Again, caller number, what did I say, 5? 5.
It's a blast, too. I will tell you, even if you're not the winner, unfortunately, not everyone can be a winner. But it's fun. It is a blast.
And I mean, if you want to purchase your own tickets, you can go to www.theshopsatpiedmont.com. That's the shops, THESHOPPESATPIEDMONT.com. You can get basic entry tickets for $33, VIP tickets for $42. The VIP tickets include entry, 3 tickets for domestic craft and German beers, a custom koozie, and 1 raffle entry to win 1 of 2 packages at Residence Inn by Marriott. Again, the Shops at Piedmont.com. Buy yourself some tickets, beer, music, food, safe rides home with Z-Trip if you indulge a little bit too much.
Right.
That is sponsored by the NDOT Highway Safety Office. Live entertainment from the B Street Band, all sponsored. Well, that will be sponsored by Aloe Fiber. Again, Oktoberfest, the Shops at Piedmont.
Have you ever won a raffle?
No, I don't win things.
What do you mean you don't win things? Is that why you don't gamble?
I don't win things.
Is that why you don't gamble?
No, I'm just bad at gambling. I gamble with my heart. It's really a problem.
No, that is definitely well, the thing is I either gamble with my heart or I do the complete opposite and then get burned.
I'll just look at things and I just go, you know what? I like this. And then I'll do that. Like no other reason.
You got to bet with your head, Rico.
Yeah, I can't do that.
It's first lesson.
It's impossible. But Sweet Things by Marcy. It's Tuesday. Shout out to Ty.
Congrats, Ty.
Our winner of the 2 tickets.
We'll see you there.
But we're moving on to Sweet Things by Marcy. It is Tuesday. We get delicious Southern style desserts from Marcy herself. And if you want to order your own, you can go to sweetthingsbymarcy.com or send her an email, sweetthingsbymarcy@gmail.com. Give her a call if you want, 402-540-6982. Marcy Haas, Sweet Things by Marcy. And today, we have a Louisiana crunch cake and a sock it to me cake.
I don't know what that is, but I'm excited. Also, Rico, I think I've decided that my calling is the Food Network because don't let this distract you from the fact that I was left out of Sweet Things last week. And someone said on the text line, I saw, they said, Nate is really good at describing the food. He should be there for it.
Nah, I don't believe
it. And I said, yes, I agree. They should call you the next Guy Fieri. Or Fieri. Fieri.
Fieri. You can't even say his name right. How
No,
dare you?
no. Well, I just say Guy Fieri.
Guy Fieri.
Fieri.
Fieri. Come on.
Fieri. I actually, speaking of which, this is completely off topic. I guess not too much. I went to Denver for the first time, and I went to help me out, text line 402-464-5685. I went to one of his places downtown, and it was maybe the best burger I ever had.
One of his places?
Yeah,
or
it was one of his places.
that he's been
And
to?
like the thing is, it's like, no, it wasn't one of his places. It's a place that he went to on diners, drive-ins, and dives.
Love it. I've always wanted to do that.
And they have like a little, like, it wasn't an emoji, but it was like a little graphic that said, Guy Fieri ate this when he was here. And I had it, and it was really good. But I wasn't able to find the episode.
See, I always want to, if
Sad.
if I ever go out anywhere to a different state, a different city, I want to see if there's a Guy Fieri diners, drive-ins, and dives episode. I want to see where he ate, and I want to go there.
And you need to get what he got, because what the thing is, the crazy thing about Guy Fieri, and I'm going to keep saying it that way because I can't say it the other way.
Fieri.
Rico. Fieri.
See it like Qdoba guy. Fieri.
Fieri.
There you go.
Fieri. The crazy thing about him, though, is that he doesn't like egg.
Yeah, he doesn't like eggs.
He doesn't like eggs, and I love eggs. So that's the only thing you got to take that with a grain of salt, because if you ever see him, he's like, oh, like, this is pretty good. Because when Guy Fieri,
there you go,
really likes it, is he'll be like, dude, and then he'll just give you a fist bump. That's when you know you got him.
That's when you know you got it. But we're not
All
talking
right.
about that.
Sorry.
We're talking about
Sorry.
Marcy's food.
Help me out, but no, I know. I just
talking
wanted
about
to text
Marcy's
to help me
food.
out.
All right,
That was
so
a little bit off track.
which one do you have? You got them both?
I got them both. Which one are we eating?
So I believe this one right here with the little filling right there.
Okay.
That is the Sakatumi cake. That is the first one we will try.
What does that mean?
I couldn't tell you what it means, but I could tell you what's in it.
Okay.
This is the Sakatumi cake. Got to show the stream.
Perfect.
There you guys go. Look at that. Beautiful, beautiful looking cake. Has butter, sugar, all-purpose flour, eggs, vanilla extract, salt, baking soda, and sour cream. And the filling that you're seeing right there, pecans, brown sugar, and cinnamon. I'm a big fan of cinnamon. So we're going to see how this goes. Again, this is the Sakatumi cake, Sweet Things by Marcy. You can order some on your own if you go to sweetthingsbymarcy.com or shoot her an email, sweetthingsbymarcy@gmail.com.
It's very dense. That's the first word that's coming on. It's almost like like pound cake, how it's dense. It's got that density to it. Also, it's very nutty. It's got a good nutty flavor to it, which I'm a big fan of. I'm big on nuts. Love nuts. All right.
You like pecans?
Yes, I love pecans. Any type of nut, I am all for it. That's really good.
I agree. It is very
It's got a
dense.
good- it's sweet, too.
I believe this was the one she said was really good with coffee.
I could see that.
It's a dense. I like. So when you get the filling part of it, it gives you a little crunch. It gives you a nice, a different texture in there while you're eating it. And I know you said you hadn't eaten yet, so you're probably gonna eat the whole thing.
I might eat the whole thing.
I could eat the whole thing regardless. I just had some delicious lasagna, but
And I have no problem with
Neither
that.
here nor there.
And you get a little bit of the brown sugar, too. You can taste it when you get the inside. The
I'm
filling.
getting more cinnamon than the brown sugar, but I love
Interesting.
cinnamon, so I'm totally fine with that. I like the crust on the outside. Again, a little different texture than more different. It's a little hard. A slight little crisp there.
We'll have to ask Mark, but I'm pretty sure that's a sign that you're a pro. When you can
think
make
so?
you can make the outside a different texture than the inside. It's like cooking. It's like if you're making a steak, if you can sear it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm assuming it's the
I think-
same as baking. I don't know. No, don't quote me on that because I
couldn't
don't
tell you
know.
that.
I could not make anything this good.
But that is the Sakatumi cake from Sweet Things by Marcy. I really like that filling. I didn't know if I was
That filling is good.
I didn't know if I was going to like it. It's really good. It's not like a full filling. It's like a little stripe on the side of the cake. I showed
It gives
guys.
you just enough.
I showed you guys. You saw it on the Starter Heyman Jewelers live video stream, Facebook, YouTube, Twitch. If you didn't see it, I'll show you one more time. And if you want to see it, get on over there right now. Again, Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter. 93.7 The Ticket. Here we go. Here's this right here. That's the Sakatumi cake. That's the filling right there. You can see the little stripe right there. It's got the pecans, the brown sugar, and the cinnamon. Delicious. Delicious right there. All right, up next, the Louisiana Crunch Cake. Now, this one looks more like just a pound cake, right? But the topping, where'd it go? There's a little topping somewhere, I believe. I can't find it. Oh no, the crunch. Yeah, it's a little. It's like a little. I guess not a topping. It's just a crust. It's a little crunchier right there on the top.
Yeah,
Has sugar and sweetened flaked coconut. Can't say that very fast.
I was about
You
to say
getting-
coconut.
You getting the coconut?
Mhm.
And the cake itself, flour, salt, baking powder, baking soda, sugar, butter, eggs, sour cream. See, there's another thing with sour cream. Buttermilk and pure vanilla.
just say
extract.
sour cream?
Sour cream.
Really?
Yeah. I don't know what the sour cream does. Mark would be able to tell me, or Marcy would be able to tell me. She was going to join us today, but she had an appointment. She might join us next week. We'll see. I'll check in with her. But she'll join us one of these times to explain in greater detail all of the things that she does. We are joined by our resident professional baker, Mark Onweiler.
Look, if you find somebody who's using sour cream as an ingredient, you snatch it up, right? Like it's adding a good amount of fat, a great amount of moisture. It's going to be some of the moistest cake you find, sour cream cake. I was looking up the Sakatumi cake because I'd never heard of that before. And traditionally, I don't know if hers does or not, but traditionally, that's a sour cream pound cake as its base as well.
Pound cake. I told you.
There's sour cream in that one too.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm talking about mouth.
It's okay. It's okay. No, are you guys familiar with like old fashioned donuts? The ones that are really, those are also called sour cream donuts because they use that as an ingredient in there to keep them moist and not. I was gonna say light. Light's not the right word because they're often pretty heavy.
It's
actually.
it's moist,
but
and
moist
dense,
for
like
sure.
you said, dense,
density.
Yeah,
but it's very
yeah.
moist. Like it's solid, but it's really like the fork just kind of like after I cut through it, just kind of slides right through it. But then you chew it, dense. Talk with a mouthful, you can hear it. It's awesome. It's delicious.
It's good. It's like I said, it's a good amount of fat
bite?
content. That
You want to bite?
yeah, but no.
You kind of. I know you kind of do.
He does. Yeah, I absolutely do.
I'm gonna give you.
But
a
I'm
bite.
gonna
give you a bite
pass.
after this. I'm gonna give you a bite after this, Mark. It's okay. Again, Sweet Things by Marcy.
The
Shout out
thing
to Marcy. for
That's
being
good about
amazing.
that one is what I found is that I'm a coconut fan, but just a splash. Like coconut, the thing is, if you don't use coconut properly, it can be way too much.
Honestly, I'm not a fan of coconut. I can barely taste it in
Bingo,
here,
and that's what makes it so good is because it's not overpowering.
but it's there. I can taste. I
It's
can taste
there,
it a little bit,
exactly.
and I know it's there because I'm not a fan of it, but it's good. It's good. It's
That's
like
what
when
you
she
want.
when she brought us the German chocolate cake. There's a lot of coconut in that, but I really like that cake.
Exactly. That's what makes Marcy so good is that she gets the things like that. It's just some people get it and some people don't, Rico. Some people get it, some people don't.
Some people just don't
Marcy,
understand.
luckily for us and for her, she gets it.
Oh, Marcy gets it.
She gets it.
Again, she
She
does,
absolutely
she
gets
does
it.
not miss. She has yet to miss. I don't think she ever will. Again, everybody, that is Sweet Things by Marcy. Today we had the Socket to Me cake and the Louisiana Crunch cake. Nate's just downing it right now. He's going to finish it. I'm going to take a couple
Ew,
more
my
bites.
hands.
Going to take a couple more bites, give some to Mark, take some home for the wife and for the kiddos. But again, Sweet Things by Marcy. If you want to order some yourself, made from scratch Southern style desserts, Marcy Haas is the owner. Give her a call, 402-540-6982, or go to www.sweetthingsbymarcy.com or email her, sweetthingsbymarcy@gmail.com. Get your orders in for all of the delicious goodies that she has. That is going to do it for the happy hour. Up next, Nathan and Strick on the block with Nate and Strick coming at you live right here, 93.7 The Ticket, theticketfm.com. Adios.